Okay, so today I'm going to review the Thogay Mongolian bowl from Umaram bowl company, which is a bowl maker from Indonesia. Okay, so uh, I just got this bowl yesterday. Okay, and I strung it up and shot it for the entire day. So it worked pretty well. So when the bowl came, it comes with a bowl sock, a string protector, a string keeper, sorry, and the bowl. And apparently it didn't come with a string, so I had to wait. It came before this, but it didn't come with a string, so I had to wait for it for a little while before I got it yesterday. Okay, so all right, so I got this bowl at 22 pounds at 28 inches, so it's actually a very low poundage bowl. And just by appearances, okay, it's got very nice color on the limbs, okay, and it just looks like a Mongolian bowl basically. It can't really ask for too much about that. Okay, so just some facts about the bowl for those who are interested. So when unstrung, okay, the bowl is from string groove to string groove, about 150 cm, 1.5 meters. The string loop to loop is 132 cm. Brace height around 7.5 inches. Okay, measured from the belly or the arrow pass. No, actually the arrow pass. Okay, measured for the arrow pass to the string, the brace height is 7.5 inches. Okay, and you can see here the arrow pass is quite narrow. Okay, so it's about 1.5 cm, and the limbs themselves, they are about 3 cm wide. Okay, and as you can see here, the sears, okay, nice and thin. Okay, and it's slightly recurved to away from the archer. Okay, and of course, yes, string bridges. Okay, just to catch the string when it returns to the limbs. Okay, so since the poundage is actually so low, I can't really speak too much about the drawing experience because it's 32 pounds. It's very light. You can do whatever. You can get to the max draw length. I don't know what the max draw length is, and I'm not gonna test it out. But my draw length is about when I draw to my ear is about 30 inches, and you can do that quite comfortably, right? So around there, and it can go a little bit more, but I'm not gonna try it. Okay, so in terms of the draw force curve, I can't really say much since it feels the same to me throughout. But in terms of the shooting experience, the casting, which is how fast the string returns to the limbs, it's very powerful for such a low poundage bow, and it seems pretty efficient. Okay, so I forgot about this, but along with the bow, okay, it comes with the user guide and a warranty card, okay, as usual. And in the user guide, it does tell you about how to take care of your bow, and what not to do, what to do. And unfortunately, they didn't fill out the product description page, so I'm not too sure about the specs of the bow. But one thing that you should take note, okay, they do recommend that you should not use light arrows. So your arrow weight should be more than the poundage of the bow multiplied by 0.6. So since this bow is 22 pounds, okay, the minimum GPP, or actually minimum weight of the arrow, because they didn't specify what the unit measurement is. I just assume it's grams, so the minimum weight of the arrow should be around 13 grams. Okay, the arrows I'm using, okay, these ones are made from wood. Okay, the arrows I'm using are 358 grains, which is 23 grams. You are not wrong. So it's actually very heavy for this bow, but okay, it can shoot them quite far, really. Okay, so let's have a look. So we were testing out some other bows from Umaram today. So I got the Barbaros 2 and 3 over here, okay, in addition to my Thogay. So as we all watch me setting up, okay, I just wanted to say that I have another bowl. It's a Korean bowl. It's a Korean traditional bowl. It's the Phoenix from Daylight. It's 30 pounds at 30 inches, and with that, with the same arrows, I was actually aiming somewhere hovering maybe like 1 cm below the board. While I'm at the shooting line. But for this bowl, I'm aiming into the ground. Okay, even though it's a lower poundage, in theory, I should be aiming higher. But yeah, that just shows that some strange behavior going on with this bowl. So as you can see here, we're trying to measure my draw length. Okay, so to find out exactly what it is, and we found out it is exactly 30 inches to my ear. Okay, and then over here, now we are trying to measure the draw weight of the bow at 30 inches. So it is 22 pounds at 28 inches, and then it increases by 2 pounds up to 30 inches, so 24 pounds at 30 inches. So in theory, there's not a lot of stacking on this bow. So the arrows I'm using, they are rated for 30-pound bows actually. So they are way too stiff for this bow, which is why I had to put some tape on the arrow parts to protect it. So I'm doing this because I have grading coming up soon, and only natural arrows are allowed for me. So yeah, I kind of stuck with it for the moment, but it's not too much damage, and they fly very straight. You expect them to fly to the right because they're too stiff, but for some reason they're straight. But the issue here is that I have to have a very perfect release, because if I screw it up in any way, it doesn't fly where I need it to. Another thing is that again, I'm aiming super low, like right into the ground. Right, if I jerk up a little bit, the bow hand drifts out a little bit, it flies over the entire board. And over here I'm actually shooting at 18 meters, so if it drifts up, it flies all the way to 30 meters. So yeah, the casting on this bow is really powerful. Okay, and then over here, we're shooting a mock jumpy target. Okay, the hanging target they use in Kyrgyzstan, and yeah. So this is less about the bow and actually more about the arrows, because they are not spined correctly. But yeah, once I was able to aim properly, it performed quite well, the whole setup. So looking at this slow-mo clip. Okay, so let's not talk about my release or my follow-through. Okay, you just look at how quickly, okay, the string returns the limbs, and subsequently, how quickly the arrow leaves the string. Right. So you do feel it as part of the shooting experience. The arrow really travels quite fast. Okay, and especially so because this is considered a heavy arrow for this bow. Okay, so what do I feel about this bow? Well, I think it's I got this while it was on sale. It was about 200 280 Singapore dollars. So it's a moderate amount, I guess, for a laminated wood bowl. Okay, and it doesn't disappoint basically. Okay, so the casting is really good. Okay, even at such a low poundage, to the point that it can propel a heavy arrow very well. Okay, and of course you do have to spine your arrows correctly. If not, everything becomes very unforgiving, right? So aside from that, the durability wise, I haven't experienced any issues with it so far. But okay, I'm not sure if you're able to hear it, but it makes while you're plucking the string, it kind of strikes the string bridge a little bit, makes a little bit of a whirring noise, but that's not really an issue lah. Okay, just a thing that made me a little bit worried when I first got it. Okay, aside from that, in terms of twisting, there's no twist. It didn't come with a twist. It was fine, and it feels quite stiff actually. Okay, so in terms of stacking, so as I measured just now, right, the poundage, so it's 22 at 28 inch, but at 30 inches it's 24 pounds, so there's actually not much, the stacking isn't too bad. But I think if you get it at a higher poundage, like 40, 50, okay, I think that's where it will start to kick in, and it'll be a little bit different experience from what I have over here. Okay, so overall, I would say it's a really high performer, because again, it's a low poundage bowl. Okay, I can't really make a good judgment about how good it would be at really longer distances, and how it works with wider range of arrows. Those were the good things I had to say about this bowl. Are there any bad things? Nothing that's really game breaking. Nothing that really makes it a hard no. But okay, even at low poundages, okay, when you're plucking, okay, aside from this noise thing, there's quite a lot of vibrations in the grip, so it might be wise, okay, to be like me and use heavier arrows, okay, because while using those arrows I didn't feel any of these vibrations, but without anything, just plucking a little bit, there's a lot of vibrations. Okay, so if that's something you don't like, this could be one thing that you might not want to experience myself. In conclusion, okay, it's for the price point, it's fine. Okay, it does everything you want out from a laminated wood bowl, and I don't think there's any serious durability issues. Okay, so I would not outright recommend, but if you're looking to explore Indonesian bowyers, the Thogay Mongolian could be your next purchase, I guess. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. Okay, so if you have any more feedback to give me, or anything I said wrongly, you feel free to leave a comment. Okay, thank you so much.